come through. Lost in the city lights, cause I can't sleep tonight. Where are you now? Where are you now? Hey, it's been too long to go, my love. Where did we go wrong? Too late to turn around. Where are you now? Where are you now? Hey, it's been too long. You're just like my favorite song going round and round in my head. Like my favorite song going round and round in my head. You're just like my favorite song going round and round in my head. Like my favorite song going round and round in my head.
Shut your mouth and close the door. I'm gonna watch you while you take it off. I'm gonna take the blindfold, put it on, and then I drop the leather to the floor. I said shut up, turning the lights out, burning the candles, and the mirror's gonna fall tonight. Turning the lights out, tied in the handcuffs, and the mirror's gonna fall tonight. I stiletto on your neck until I tie your hands above the bed. You're about to, but boy, don't pull the trigger yet. Nah, 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 I haven't reloaded the clip. Nah, nah, nah. Squeeze hard, hold that pose. You know I like it, do it. Sweetheart, I'm the boss, and when you get close to it, I'm gonna make tonight a show. Oh, oh, I'll make your love grenade explode. Nah, nah, nah. Turning the lights out, burning the candles, and the mirror's gonna fall tonight. Turning the lights out, tied in the handcuffs, and the mirror's gonna fall tonight. Turning the lights out, burning the candles, and the mirror's gonna fall tonight. Turning the lights out, tied in the handcuffs, and the mirror's gonna fall tonight. Sex, love, control, vanity. Sex, love, control, vanity. Sex, love, and the mirror's gonna fall tonight. And the mirror's gonna fall tonight. And the mirror's gonna fall tonight. The mirror's gonna fall tonight. Vanity, vanity. Squeeze hard, hold that pose. You know I like it, do it. Sweetheart, I'm the boss, and when you get close to it, I'm gonna make tonight a show. Oh, oh, I'll make your love grenade explode. Nah, nah, nah. Turning the lights out, burning the candles, and the mirror's gonna fall tonight. Turning the lights out, tied in the handcuffs, and the mirror's gonna fall tonight. Turning the lights out, burning the candles, and the mirror's gonna fall tonight. Turning the lights out, tied in the handcuffs, and the mirror's gonna fall tonight.
I bet you feel it now, baby. Especially since we've only known each other one day. But I've gotta work shit out, baby. I'm exercising demons, got 'em running round the block now. Location drop now, pedal to the floor like you running from the cops now. Oh, what a cop out. You picked a dance with the devil in the lockdown. Yeah. The water's getting colder, let me in your ocean swim. Out in California, I've been forward stroking swim. So hard to ignore you, especially when I'm smoking swim. World is on my shoulders, keep your body open, swim. I'm swimming, I'm swimming, I'm swimming, yeah. I'm swimming, I'm swimming, I'm swimming, yeah. Out in California, I've been forward stroking swim. So hard to ignore you, keep your should've give you more time. I wish I had known this before. Now I'm replaying our goodbyes, but it wasn't a goodbye. And I still hear you slamming the door. Try to get you up, you had enough. You're screaming down the phone and don't know what you lost. I say I'm fine, I need to get in that mind. But I realize when you hang up, I messed this up. I spend my weekends trying to get you off my mind again, but I can't make it stop. Trying to pretend, girl, you can tell. 'Cause you know me too, you know me too well. You know me too well. Oh, if we could take it back, baby, if I could, then I would give you all I have. Baby, if I could, then I would. Try to get you up, you had enough. You're screaming down the phone, you don't know what you lost. I say I'm fine, I didn't get that much. But I realize when you hang up, I messed this up. Spend my weekends trying to get you out my mind again, but I can't make it stop. Trying to pretend, nobody you can tell. 'Cause you know me too, you know me too well. You had enough. You're screaming down the phone, you don't know what you lost. I say I'm fine, I didn't get that much. But I realize.
Man, I got to give a shout out to the drummer, man. I'm hooked on this damn Teddy Swims. Am I the only one that didn't know who this guy was? Do y'all know who Teddy Swims is? And I'm the only idiot who's just now figuring this out. This guy, hold on, what am I doing? Yeah, this guy, the drummer man, the last song he sent in, I had never heard that song, but I was like, that's a good song. So anyway, I found it. And it's by this guy named Teddy Swims. Well, it turns out everybody fucking knows who Teddy Swims is but me. So did y'all know about this Teddy Swims? Or I'm literally the only one here? And I done fucked up now because I looked up yesterday Teddy Swims concert. Vegas, August 1st. I'm like, fuck. I might have to go back to Vegas.
Something's got a hold on me lately. No, I don't know myself anymore. Feels like the walls are all closing in, and the devil's knocking at my door. Whoa, out of my mind. How many times did I tell you I'm no good at being alone? It's taking a toll on me, trying my best to keep from tearing the skin off my bones. Don't you know I lose control when you're not next to me? I'm falling apart right in front of you, can't you see? I lose control when you're not next to me. Yeah, you're breaking my heart, baby. You make a mess of me. Problematic, so won't you party like a fiend, like a bad habit? Bad habits hard to break when I'm with you. Yeah, I know I can do it on my own, but I want that real full moon black magic, and it takes two. Problematic, problem is when I'm with you, I'm an addict, and I need some relief. My skin and your teeth can't see the forest through the trees. Got me out on my knees, darling, please. I lose control when you're not next to me. I'm falling I'm falling apart right in front of you. Can't you see? I lose control when you're not next to me. Yeah, you're breaking my heart, baby. You make a mess of me.
Yeah. Now all of a sudden I'm hooked on this guy. What's up, Vic?
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, good morning in that. How's everybody doing? Happy Thursday. Viktube, this year's Loutube's Got Talent grand champion. Vic, do you want to give like an acceptance speech or like a
Yes, I know.
like a bragging
So
or
no,
whatever?
no intro first.
Teddy Swim's got the intro today, bud.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will give an acceptance speech.
All right, let's hear it.
Yes.
That'd be great.
Yeah. So I want to thank everyone who voted for me. Yeah, and even everyone who didn't vote for me too. And yeah, I want to thank Spank and Millis and the drummer man for a great finals and for giving me somebody to beat. And yeah, and I want to thank everyone who sent in a video, because we can't have a talent show without videos, and without a talent show, then there's nothing for me to win. But I am the most talented person on YouTube in 2025. So bow down to the champ.
Dang. Do you need to thank Millis Vanillis for not sending in a finals video? Because according to some people, that's the only reason you won. What do you think about that? So do you need to thank Millis for being lazy and not sending in a final video, which enabled you to win? Or is that not true? You'd have won anyway.
No, that's not true. Yeah, I would have won anyway.
It wouldn't have mattered what video Millis sent in, even if he sent one.
No.
Okay.
No.
Because people are saying that.
No.
All right,
fake news.
Yeah, I wanted to give you an opportunity to set the record straight.
Yeah, that is fake news.
That's fake news, Vic says. So, Millis, if you're listening, or anyone else that said that Millis would have won, if you're listening, Vic says that's not true. That even if Millis would have sent a video in, it wouldn't have mattered what type of video he sent in or whatever. Vic still would have won. Is that right? That's right? I got that right, Vic?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm happy to hear that. I'm real happy to hear that. I don't know. I'm trying to. Your first one or your last one was obviously my favorites. I told you. Look, I'm brutally honest, Tube. I didn't like that shit kicking thing you did in round two. But I don't like that kind of music. You know. So I'm not saying you like your lyrics weren't good or you didn't come up with funny things to say. As soon as I hear shit kicking, I tune out.
No, it's fun.
So I'm trying to decide whether your first video or your third video was my favorite. And I think the third one was your best one, dude. And I think that's like now it's easy to say this, it's harder to do it. I think that's how you want to do it. You want your last video to be the best one, I think.
Yes. Yeah,
and
that
you don't always know that's you can't control that sometimes. You don't know how people are going to react to your video, so sometimes you don't know what people will like or not like or whatever, but
right.
I think it worked out good for you because that last one was great.
Yeah. That last video I did was actually my first idea for a video, but I decided, that I better save that one for the end. So
right. Yeah, you did great. I thought you did pretty good there. I thought you did pretty good. Now, Tube, if you weren't participating in the talent show, who would you have voted for?
Who would I have voted for?
Yeah.
I guess I would have voted for Drummer Man.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah. I like him too. Of course, he came in second. Drummer Man did. Even though he was third in the odds. He overachieved, is what I'm saying. He's like the Shane Beamer of Bluetube's Got Talent. He beat his win total. You were the favorite, and you won. So it was impossible for you to exceed expectations. You met expectations. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And Spank is like last year's Florida State or Michigan. Started ranked in the top 10, finished unranked. Dang. No, that's Millis, actually. Millis was probably the favorite after round 2. And he finished dead last. Millis is Florida State. Yeah. He was probably the favorite after round 2. After round 3, boy, he plummeted, dude. Didn't he?
Yep. He did, yeah.
And now, I guess, I don't know if I should give him credit for this or if this somehow makes it worse.
What?
There's been lots of people over the years since we've been doing Loutube's Got Talent who have not sent in talent show videos. Right? Lots of people don't send in videos. But Millis is the only person that's ever sent in videos telling us that he's not sending in videos. And so I don't know if that, like I said, I don't know if that somehow makes it worse. Like, you had the time to send in a video to tell us you're not sending in a video, but you didn't have time to do an actual video to send in. Something's not adding up.
That definitely makes it worse.
Yeah, it does make it worse. His first video and his third video were basically videos telling us he didn't do a video. I mean, we have like 20 minutes of him talking about not doing a video, and then we have 3 minutes of an actual video from round 2. I think it's borderline unacceptable. Let me ask you this, Tube.
Yeah.
Do you think because of this just utter embarrassment and humiliation that Millis Vanillis has suffered at the hands of you and everyone piling on for not doing the videos, do you think he'll disappear for a year and a half again?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I hope not. I hope not. But look, people are creatures of habit, Tube. And the reality is he has a habit of disappearing. Now, I want to talk about this TK and Dan situation if we can. Do you have anything else you need to say about the talent show, Tube?
Nope. I think that's about it. Yeah.
All right. What do you make of this situation with Dan and TK?
What I make of it? Well, of course, I do know that Dan did ask TK if she wanted to go on a date to like see a movie or something, and then TK rejected him on account of the age gap, saying that that she's old enough to be his mom. So
right. Yeah. So how do we feel about that? So that's what happened. How do we feel about this situation, though? In other words, do we feel bad for our boy Dan here for getting rejected? Or are we going, boy, you know, that boy Dan dodged a bullet.
Uh-oh.
I feel bad for him, not gonna lie. He put him, you know, he put
Yeah.
himself out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, me too. I feel bad for any guy who tries,
Right.
you know, his best.
How old
and
is Nick DTV?
Gets rejected. How old is who?
Nick DTV.
I don't know. He's probably around my age, probably.
Is that Dan's age as well?
Yeah. I think Dan said he was 29, and I'm 27.
So Dan's actually older than you and Nick DTV.
Yeah, Dan's a little bit older. Yeah.
Okay, because TK went on a date with Nick DTV.
Oh, you did? Was it really a date or?
Well, he went and picked her up, and they went to dinner. I don't know what people call that anymore, but I mean that's what they did.
Oh shit! Well, I don't know. Yeah.
So
well,
if Dan is too, so if Nick DTV is not too young and he was 27, why is Dan too young and he's 29?
I don't know if how old Nick is for sure, but
Well, we do know he's in college. Now, it doesn't necessarily could be a Stetson Bennett situation and he's 35, but most likely that means he's in his early to mid 20s.
right.
But in any case, the point is he's younger than Dan.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to figure out why she would go out to eat with Nick DTV, but not go out to eat with Dan when Dan's older, but then tell Dan it's because he's not old enough.
Yeah, I don't know. You'll have to ask TK.
Yeah, well, she gets mad. She gets mad when I ask her things. We gotta get somebody else to ask her. But I do feel bad for Dan. I do feel bad for Dan. I wish there was a bad bitch show on Sunday, but of course there's not because me and the lady will be out of town. But I wish there was a bad bitch show because we could get everyone that's in the comments right now to show up on the bad bitch show and just type for the whole show about why won't TK go on a date with Dan.
Yeah, so I think that
in other words, we could try the peer pressure approach. Yeah. You know, come on, TK, peer pressure.
Right,
you know?
Right. Well, I think there has not been a bad bitch show since Dan asked TK out. Is that true?
Probably, because I don't think there wasn't one last Sunday because the lady went to the beach.
Now
I didn't know Dan. Does Dan live in Florida, or was this going to be? Was he willing to travel for this date?
I think Dan lives in Georgia.
I know he's a Georgia fan. Yeah, I know he's a Georgia fan, but that doesn't necessarily. But I always assumed he lived in Georgia, but I know that's not. It's like stereotypes. Sometimes you subconsciously you think something just based on something. So like, if I don't know anything about anybody other than they're a Georgia fan, then I automatically assume they either are from Georgia or live in Georgia, even though I know that's not true.
Right.
So.
Right.
So I guess he was willing to travel to go on this date with TK, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Jay says it's a huge red flag would be Dan having two different first names. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's back to wanting to be called Jarrett now, but I'm not. I already told him he was Jarrett forever, and then all of a sudden he showed up trying to be this Dan character, and I don't like people changing their name because I like to know who you were a year ago and 2 years ago and now, and I don't like to be guessing that this person. I don't like that, but because I care about Dan, I said, okay, fine, Dan, I'll call you Dan. And then like a week later, he was back to Jared again, and I'm not changing back. I already changed. I'm not changing back. So, but he told me the other day he wants to be called Jared again. I said, okay, Dan, I'm not changing back. So to me, he's Dan. But if you don't know who we're talking about, Dan is Jared. And I understand if you don't know who we're talking about because it's confusing because the guy's been Jarrett forever and all of a sudden he shows up as Dan. And you're like, this Dan guy sounds like Jarrett. Well, that's because Dan is Jarrett. But now Dan doesn't want to be Dan anymore, or at least he doesn't want to be known as Dan. He wants to be known as Jarrett. But he was known for Jarrett forever, and he didn't want to be known as that, so he changed his name to Dan. In other words, I'm not doing the back and forth deal. So to me, he's Dan.
He's Dan. Yeah, and then you put hashtag Dan in the chat when he called into the call-in show.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, Dan, if you're listening, and I'm pretty sure that you're not, you should be. Maybe we can do Tender Dan. And he lives in Georgia, maybe. So maybe we can do Tender Dan. You think he would have any interest in that?
No.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with the microphone situation, Vic. I'm surprised you haven't said anything about it. Probably because you know it irritates me.
It does. Yeah, it does sound a little bit kind of strange.
Yeah. Now it sounds fine to the people listening. For some reason, in StreamYard, when you go to settings and you're choosing your microphone and your camera and all that.
Yeah.
It won't let me choose the real microphone. It's in the list here. I can even show the people on YouTube. You can go back and watch it if you got any interest in it. But see right here where it says microphone, Logitech Brio. That's my webcam. I don't want to use the microphone on my webcam. I want to use my real microphone, which is this one, Rodecaster Pro. But every time I click it, nothing happens. See? I'm clicking on it, and it's just staying on that no matter what. It won't. Now, normally when I pull up StreamYard, it's already on this Rodecaster Pro. And today when I started StreamYard, I noticed it wasn't. It was on Brio, and I was like, what? Let me go change it. But it won't let me change it. Now, is that weird? And also, you know what else? You see how you see this picture instead of the YouTube picture you normally see?
Mm-hmm.
Normally, I do the virtual camera deal. It won't let me do that either. Look. Where is it? OBS virtual camera. It won't let, in other words, it won't let me change my camera or my microphone. I don't know why. It's weird. Normally you click on this, everything you have, basically everything you have comes up. So whatever microphones you have, whatever cameras you have, whatever, and you just choose the one you want StreamYard to use. It won't let me change it, any of them. So I don't know what's going on. So it sounds and looks normal to the people on YouTube, but to you on StreamYard, you're hearing the other microphone. You see what I'm saying? Or do you hear what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
so I don't know what's going on.
I understand.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. Yeah, that's the other thing. It's not Jared. It's Jarrett. It's 2 R's and 2 T's in that bitch. There's no D's in Jarrett's name.
Yeah,
which is
there's
another
a hard
thing.
T.
Yeah, that's another thing. I don't really like people's names that you have to see them spelled out to know what they are. There's a lot of people that think Jarrett's name is Jared. Because when you just say Jarrett, it doesn't, who knows what you're saying. So that's another thing that bothers me with Dan. Dan is no confusion. If I call somebody Dan, you know what I said. You gave Dan your phone number, Jackpot? Holy shit. Maybe he can take you out for a date, Dan.
Yeah, the area code is 919. Yeah.
Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina. What is Dan doing?
Yeah.
Dan's a Georgia fan, lives in Raleigh, and wants to go on a date with a 50-year-old lady in St. Augustine? What is Dan up to?
I don't know.
I'm serious. What is Dan up to? Can you find all this out tomorrow?
Yeah, I will. Yeah, if he comes on, I will ask him everything.
Okay, now I likely won't be able to help you because I'm traveling tomorrow. Normally when we go to Vegas, I leave I catch there's a flight out of Augusta at like 5:30 in the morning that goes to Atlanta every day. And normally when we go to Vegas, that's the flight I take, the 5:30 flight. And then I take like an 8:30 flight out of Atlanta, and I get to Vegas around lunchtime, Vegas time. But we're not doing that this time. I don't know if it's because it's 4th of July weekend or what, but the tickets out of Augusta were way more expensive than they normally are. So I'm actually flying out of Columbia, and they don't have as many flights back and forth to Atlanta every day as Augusta does. So I had to take like a 3 o'clock flight, I think, out of Columbia. And anyway, I don't get to Vegas until like 7:30 or 8 Vegas time, which is 11 o'clock at night here. In other words, I'll be traveling during tomorrow's edition of the Tube show. So I won't be able to be in the chat to tell you, ask this, ask that. So I need you to ask Dan all the things we've been talking about today. What's up with the TK situation? Do you want us to help you with that? Lou will be more than tell him, because I won't be. You tell him, I'll be more than happy to help him with that situation. Does he have a thing for 50-year-olds in general, or does he have a thing for TK specifically? Where does he live, and why is he trying to date someone 2 states away? And if TK does agree to go on a date with him, what is he doing? Is he driving all the way down there to take her to take her out to Culver's, or like what is he doing? You know what I'm saying? And then lastly, once he realizes the shit with TK is not going to work out, can we do Tinder Dan? Oh, TK's in here now. TK, we need you to change your mind and accept Dan's offer for a date. Can you do that? Shut up, Lou. No, I'm not going to shut up. Are you new here? Can you please change your mind and go on a date with Dan?
Yeah. Yeah, Dan is Jared.
Yeah, Dan is Jared. Yeah, his name is Dan. His name is not really Jarrett. He created the name Jarrett for YouTube. And then, like, about a month ago, he started showing up in everybody's StreamYard, but instead of his name being Jared, his name was Dan. And when I asked him why, he said because his real name is actually Dan. And he decided it'd be called that now. But now he's changed his mind again, and he's gone back to Jarrett. But it's like I was saying earlier, I have a name change limit of 1. And so I'm not going back calling him Jared. I'm still calling him Dan. He's too young. Didn't you go out to eat with Nick DTV, though? What's younger even than Dan, though? So can't you do the same thing for Dan that you did for Nick DTV? Just go to Applebee's or Olive Garden or something. He's willing to travel 3 states to take you out to eat at Chili's. Can't you just... I'm not going to lie. If Dan called me and said, Luke, can I come down and take you out to eat? I'd say yes. And he's technically too young for me too, but I'm not turning down a free meal. Now, I wouldn't let him take me to Applebee's or Olive Garden. It would have to be T-Bones or Reinhardt's or something like that. But, well, it doesn't have to be a date with Dan then. Whatever it was you did with Nick D, can you do that with Dan? It would mean a lot to Dan if you would do that. If not, we're going to have no choice but to do Tinder Dan. This man's willing to travel 3 states. Nick DTV just traveled like 3 cities. I mean, yeah. Smoke weed and eat would be great. Yeah. All right, we'll let Dan know. This is great news. Thank you, TK. Yeah, this is great news. I think Dan's gonna be excited. Dan must be sleeping in this morning. Is Dan ever on the morning show? I get confused sometimes about who's on which shows. So does Dan sometimes come around the morning show? Oh, he's only 30 minutes away. I thought he was. I thought Nick was a little further than that. Does Dan sometimes come on the morning show, Tube?
Sometimes.
He does. Okay. Just for the reason he's not.
Yeah, not all the time, but sometimes.
Yeah, and he doesn't have any talent, does he?
No.
No. I mean, he's never seen in a talent video.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I think traveling 3 states and taking TK to Chipotle is a talent.
Yeah, that shows a lot of dedication.
Dedication, and I would even take it a step further. You know what that shows to me? Willpower.
Oh yeah, willpower.
Oh man. Yeah. So yeah, but Vic, I won't be able to. The long drawn out story I was telling earlier was leading to the conclusion of that I will be traveling during tomorrow's Tube show, and so it's unlikely that I will be able to participate. I definitely won't be able to come on the panel or whatever. I doubt I'll even be able to participate in the chat. Now, Delta has Wi-Fi, but the only thing you can access is their entertainment portal with like movies and shit like that. They charge you, I don't know what it is, $10 or $20 or something if you want actual Wi-Fi. And I doubt I'm doing that just to tune into the Tube show for the Dan situation. But
yeah, that's okay.
But I will be checking up on the Dan situation at some point later by listening to the show back.
Yeah.
You know, so
yes.
And Dan comes on your show every week, so I know he'll be on there.
Right. Yeah. So speaking of the Viktube show, I'm gonna have to start it a little bit earlier today. So I mean tomorrow. So it's gonna start at 5 instead of 6. Because we're leaving the house at 7 to go to the park to see some fireworks. So
you're leaving the house at 7.
Yeah. I gotta make sure we get there early so we can find a place to park. So
yeah, I hope this doesn't mess
it's
everything
gonna be
up.
5 to 7.
I hope it doesn't mess everything up with having Dan on, because
I hope not.
Sometimes he doesn't join till 6:30 or 6:45 or something.
Yeah. Yeah, that might be a problem. Yeah,
it could be a problem. Now the good news is I come back next Thursday. So if for some reason Dan doesn't show up on tomorrow's edition of the Tube show, I'll be back home for next week's edition of the Tube show. So I'll be able to come on when Dan comes on and help you get to the bottom of this situation.
Yes.
Not that you need my help. You can do it on your own, but I don't mind helping people.
Yeah, I know. So. Yeah, Hoghead's getting a brand new Kubota tomorrow. Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah, Hoghead's gonna be drinking his favorite soda in his brand new Kubota.
What's a Kubota?
It's like a tractor. Yeah.
Oh. What's he need with a tractor?
I don't know.
Is he a farmer now?
I don't know.
What are you farming, Hog Man? What is he farming, you think?
Oh, okay. He says it's an ATV.
Oh. Oh, so you're getting another dune buggy to drive around your mountain. I got you. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Hogman, you didn't go, did you? You didn't go to the fuck fest. You were in Atlantic City or something. Or out of town somewhere.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You didn't go to the Slob Mountain Fucktacular or whatever it was.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I missed it.
He's got everything. He's got. You know what I would do if I were you, Hoghead, which I'm obviously not. Instead of buying a 6th ATV for your mountain deal, I would buy a hot tub. That's what I would do. Those cabins up in the mountains are great, including yours. It's amazing. But it does need a hot tub. Any cabin in the mountains needs a hot tub. Fuck. Hey, get an inflatable one like Uncle Lou's doing. You can get an inflatable one for $400 or $500.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Do you need a 6th side by side, or do you need one hot tub? Let's think this through, Hog Man.
Yeah. Do you think Slitta might go to Hogfest if there's a hot tub?
Only if he can get in it by himself in his underwear. Yeah. Hoghead, I'm serious. You probably in your mind are thinking the same thing I was thinking about these inflatable hot tubs. Take an hour one day and watch some YouTube videos on these new inflatable hot tubs. I don't know why anybody would pay $5,000 or $10,000 for a traditional fiberglass hot tub when you can get these inflatable ones for $400 to $700, depending on the size and the model and all that you get. I don't know why anybody would do that anymore. But that cabin needs a hot tub like Dan needs a date with TK. I mean, bad. Put a hot tub in the back of the side by side. Well, he can do that. He can do that, but he's got to put the hot tub in the back of one of his existing side bys. He's got like 6 of them things already. So, in other words, I don't think getting a 6th or a 7th side by side is going to make your mountain house that much better. Like you reach a point of diminishing returns in terms of the number of side by sides you need. In other words, you need one hot tub more than you need a 6th or a 7th side by side, I think. So, Jay says the hot tub will soften up those toenails. Oh man. Now if we can get Dan and TK into one of them hot tubs, now that would be ideal for Dan. You got to give Dan credit. Dan, you got what do they say? You got to shoot your shot or whatever. He shooted his shot.
Right.
Now it was an air ball, but we're trying to correct that here, and I think we can get it done.
Yeah, an air ball. Hopefully, he can get a rebound.
Yeah. Look, when it comes to Dan and trying to get a date, his motto is, "Have $60, we'll travel."
Yep.
So.
Yep.
We need to make this happen. What's up, Big Ernst?
Yeah. The lady says that that Nate broke one of them. Is that true?
Well, he temporarily broke it. I guess it depends on what your definition of broke is. If your definition of broken is doing something to the point that it can't be repaired or whatever, then no, he didn't break it. But he temporarily, it didn't work for an amount of time. 2 of them, actually. One of them, he broke the seat. The other one, he ran it out of gas. So it's not technically breaking them, like,
Yeah.
because they work now. But yes,
Yeah,
he did break the seat
yeah,
in one, and he did run one out of gas and leave it stranded like 2 mountains over.
It ain't got no gas in it.
Yeah, ain't got no gas in it. Dan shooted his shot. I give him credit for that. I give him credit.
Isn't Slaw getting married this weekend? No, I haven't heard that.
Well, he is moving in his new concubine.
Yeah, has he met her yet?
He's met her one
in
time.
person?
One time. He's met her one time, and that's enough. Now he's moving her in. This hasn't been talked about enough. This is a terrible idea.
Oh yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah. I think we talked about this already. That's right, and we both agreed it was a terrible idea.
This is something that, like, if someone was like 22 and it would be like, no, this is a bad idea. But you're like, well, they're 22. They don't know any better. They got to find this out the hard way. You cannot move in with somebody after meeting them one time. That's a horrible idea. Slaw is 60 years old. Slaw knows this. He knows this is a horrible idea, and he's doing it anyway.
Yeah,
like if somebody young does it, like if Dan did it, you'd be like, well, he's got to live and learn. He's got to live and learn. Slaw has been living and learning for 60 years. This is a terrible idea.
Yeah,
and it's got and look, I'm sure the girl is great. It's got nothing to do with like I think this is a terrible idea because this girl is some bad in some way or what. I've never met the girl. I know nothing about her other than what Slaw's told me. It sounds like a perfectly sane individual to me, as sane as they can be. But that's just a terrible idea.
Yep, and he knows it's a terrible idea, but he's gonna do it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a terrible idea. And he should know better.
Is there any chance of talking him out of moving her in?
Well, I doubt it. I mean, we're down to it's 0 dark 30 at this point. Like she's moving in today or tomorrow, or like it's literally happening over the 4th of July weekend. So that for all I know, she's showing up today or tomorrow. Like it's happening now.
It's too late.
Too late to talk him out of it. Yeah. It's too late to talk him out of it.
Yeah, Matt thinks that he's gonna get heartbroken.
Yeah, I hope that doesn't happen, but and maybe it won't. I mean, I guess it's possible that this works out or whatever, but the odds of any, well, here's the thing, and Slaw knows this. The odds of any relationship working out are less than 50%. 50% of marriages end in divorce. So overall, what, 80% of relationships end at some point? I mean, I'm talking about every relationship, from just dating somebody to just living with somebody to being married. Because if the divorce rate itself is 50%, the breakup rate overall has got to be 80%. Just the average. How many people has the average person dated? And then realize that every one of those relationships, except the current one, ended at some point. So, like, the success rate of relationships in general is what, 15, 20% at most?
Yeah, so something like that, yeah. So,
yeah, this is a terrible idea.
Yeah. So now, what do you think about this? TK says he won't be heartbroken because he's not into her. He feels bad for her.
Well, he is into her. Now, I know the angle he's taking with TK. It's he doesn't want to close any unnecessary doors. So he's like, I 100% believe he's told TK that he's not into her. It's just a platonic roommate situation. But I can tell you, he is into her.
And does he feel bad for her?
I have no idea.
Yeah, and if so, why?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know her story or her situation. I don't know.
All right, right. Well,
But
next time we get Slaw on a show, we need to ask him.
yeah, but I'm here to tell you, there's not a guy on the planet who's moving a girl into his house that he's not interested in. That's not happening.
Right.
Now, he might not be interested in her as far as I'm marrying her next week, but is Slaw a liar? Yeah. Slaw's a chronic and a habitual liar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, he's a guy. He's not going to tell you that he's super into this other girl. Why would he do that?
Yeah. Yeah. So you're saying that that Slaw is disingenuous?
Yeah, this isn't even up for debate. We don't even need LoutubeHere court on this. Slaw's a known and a proven liar. He's lied. He's lied multiple times about this new girlfriend he's got. He told all of us guys in the group chat that he had met her. He told us this a month ago. Because it seemed like it was an online only thing, and he was like, no, I've met her before. Well, then like 2 weeks later, he admitted no, he never met her. The first time he ever met her was when he went to see her comedy show last week. He literally met her for the first time last week, drove to North Carolina to see her comedy show, and now she's moving in. And again, I've got no issues with this woman. I'm sure she's great. Like, I'm looking forward to meeting her if she's still around when something happens where I could meet her with Slob Olympics or whatever. It's got nothing to do with her at all. It doesn't matter who it is. In my opinion, and I think I'm in the majority, it's not a good idea to move in with somebody that you have met one time. I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea for her either. I don't think it's a good idea for her to move in with him. How about that?
Nope.
TK, did you see Melissa's apology video? It wasn't anywhere near as good as yours. I told him that too. What did you think about Melissa's apology video, Vic?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess it was okay, I guess, but not as good as it was TK's. At least he made an apology video instead of sending in nothing.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I kind of feel bad for Millis because his apology video came out literally like 2 weeks after the greatest apology video of all time. It would be like it would be like some band or some artist that puts out their first song 2 weeks after Michael Jackson's Thriller album came out. It might be, hey, that might be a good album, bud, but no one's listening to that. Thriller just came out. TK's apology video is like the Thriller of apology videos.
yep.
Like there's nothing better.
Yes, TK Millis made an apology video for not sending in a third talent video.
Yeah. And the thing is, it was a good apology video, But like I said, the timing, it couldn't have been worse timing for him because it came out literally 2 weeks after the Thriller of apology videos.
Yeah, and plus it was right after he made a trash talk video.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, saying that he was gonna win the whole thing, and the rest of us are not talented as he is, and yeah.
Yeah, overall, it's just an alarming situation with Slaw and of course the Millis deal too. But
Yeah, I do. I know about Thriller. Yeah.
oh, let's make another announcement here real quick too. Tube, we are now 20 days away from the premiere episode of the Gas Money Show. Is that still? Let me check and make sure that's still right.
That's
Counting down. Yes. Yes. We are now 20 days away from the world premiere of the Gas Money Show, which is going to be on July 23rd. Today's July 3rd. July 23rd at 9 p.m. 20 days away. Let's go. I'm fired up.
Hmm.
20 days away from the world premiere of that. This thing's got more of a build up than Avengers Endgame, don't it?
Yep. Yeah.
Is there any way you can release a trailer, TK? That would be a way to really build excitement, you know? I was thinking about postponing it. Well, I mean,
No, don't do it.
Of course it's going to be postponed. It might be postponed indefinitely. But until it is, though, can you make a trailer? That would be great. Or can I make a trailer? No. I could make a great trailer. Here we go. Get you some, here you go. Get you some trailer music. Coming July 23rd. The greatest roller skating gas money show of all time. Starring TK Skates. 3 random people in the background. And hopefully that bull dyke lesbian lady from 4 videos ago. The live show event of the summer. Gas Money Episode 1. Live July 23rd. Maybe. Oh, man. You give me about 1 hour, and I'll make the greatest roller skating Gas Money Episode 1 trailer of all time. About 1 hour. I need you to do me a favor, though, because there's some footage that I need for the trailer that is currently marked as private on your channel. I need access to that. In other words, I need access to your apology video to use for part of the trailer.
Yeah. So you need to make it unprivate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
here's what you can do. You can mark it unlisted. That way people still can't watch it, but you can just send me the link and then I can watch it. Because I need to use some clips out of there for the Gas Money trailer that I'm working on.
Yeah.
It'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be ideal.
Yeah, BA says that you're more excited about Gas Money than her birthday. Is that true?
No, it's not true, but that's not true at all. But this will be the 47th time that her birthday has been on July 23rd, whereas this will be the first time that Gas Money Episode 1 has been on July 23rd. So it's not that I'm more excited about it. It's just that this is the world premiere of Gas Money. That's all. I mean, I can make a trailer for BA's 47th birthday, too, if she wants me to. Oh, maybe you did delete it. I don't know. I hope you didn't delete it. 46. Yeah. I was talking about next year's birthday, though. I was talking about next year when you turn 47. Because that's probably when Gas Money's coming out next July.
So are we going to get Gas Money or GTA 6 first?
Yeah, what'll happen first? GTA 6, BA's 47th birthday, which is next year, or Gas Money Episode 1? I'm going with GTA 6. I think GTA 6 will come out next spring. I think BA's 47th birthday will come out next July. And I think Gas Money Episode 1 either will never come out or will come out at some point after the other two. You tried to change it to next year. That would have been funny. Yeah, that would have been good. Somebody really show up and ask a football question? Dang.
Dang.
Who's the best defensive player from the SEC in recent memory? Jalen Carter or Will Anderson? Those
Yeah,
are two good
Jalen
ones.
Carter was really good. Yeah, I don't know how recent we're talking about, but I guess maybe like Roquan Smith. I don't know if that's recent enough.
Who else is hyped for Purdue football this year? I can only think of one person.
I don't think anyone is. Not even Purdue fans.
Well, one of them is. Well, there's only one. And he's
I think there's
constantly excited.
There's.
I'm talking about your boy Hogg.
Oh yeah, Michael Hogg. Yeah. Yeah. What about that Zach the Purdue man?
No, he's not excited.
Yeah. No.
Just Hogg is.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even know what happened to Zach the Purdue man.
Yeah, me either. I do know what happened to Hogg. You got to go over to the Mark Rogers channels to see him now. Yep. Yeah. 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 Whatever happened to Lance from Jasper? I don't know, but it's one of two things. He's either dead or in prison. The entire time I knew him, those were only those were the only possible outcomes. Like, if Lance from Jasper was a video game, there's only two possible endings. And like, it's the grave or prison. I don't know which. Don't know which. I feel like this year's freshman class is one of the most hyped in a while for next season. I can't think of a single freshman that I'm even expecting to have any kind of major impact this season, so I don't really know the angle you're going for there.
Oh yeah, Rick Sanchez. Yeah, I haven't seen him. Yeah. Yeah, used to come on everybody's shows all the time.
Yeah. I don't think anyone ever liked him. He was kind of one of those people that his goal was to annoy people, and then when he annoyed people, he acted like he didn't understand why they were annoyed. Like the Penn State guy that's been in the comment section on the call-in show the last few weeks. Like he literally comments like every 5 seconds, and it's obvious that he's just trying to irritate people. And then when people get irritated, he acts like he doesn't know why they're irritated. Like, I'm like, dude, you're in here solely to irritate them. Like, what do you mean you don't know why people are irritated? Like, that's the only reason you're here is to try to irritate people. Yeah, maybe Bryce Underwood. You're right. You're right about that one.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have a major impact on Michigan.
Yeah. Which in turn could have a major impact on Oklahoma, Ohio State, Nebraska, Southern Cal, I think, whoever they play.
Dan the Man.
What happened to Dan the Man? I don't remember that one.
Yeah, I don't remember him either.
Is that Jarrett? Maybe Dan the Man was Jarrett before he was Jarrett. Because that is his real name. Maybe he was Dan the Man, then maybe he changed his name to Jarrett. And then he changed his name back to Dan, and now back to Jarrett.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
You mean yeah, Caden the Man. Yeah, he's going by Dan the Diesel Freak now.
Caden's name is also Dan?
Yeah.
What? Hold on.
Yeah.
What's going on here? You're kidding me.
No.
Caden. I blocked Caden from even my StreamYard long ago. I can't stand that. I can't take 10 seconds of that kid. But I know he still calls into Pete's show sometimes. But you're telling me Caden changed his name to Dan?
Yes.
Was this before or after Jarrett changed his name to Dan?
Before, I think.
So Caden changed his name to Dan, and then Jarrett changed his name to Dan. But now Dan has changed his name back to Jarrett, but Caden is still being called Dan?
Yeah.
And why are y'all talking about him working on tractors or something? He works at Chick-fil-A.
No, he works at Caterpillar.
Well, then that's new then, because he used to talk about Ohio State players coming into the Chick-fil-A he worked at.
Right.
So he no longer works at Chick-fil-A.
No.
Okay. So he downgraded.
I don't know, but
yeah, Caden's an Ohio State fan. Caden is the one, when he first started calling into my show, all he talked about was how great Georgia was. Remember that? That was weird. Everyone thought he was a Georgia fan pretending to be an Ohio State fan. Because he would call in and say, this is Caden the Man from Columbus, Ohio, big Ohio State fan. Georgia's winning it all. Georgia's going to the Natty again. This was last year, like last offseason. And everyone thought he was lying about being an Ohio State fan. They thought he was really a Georgia fan. But he was just weird. This all started because of the trans. Oh, speaking of transgenders, shout out to Riley Gaines. Huge victory for Riley Gaines. Was it yesterday or the day before?
Okay.
That college that she went to, what was it? Penn, where she was a swimmer. And she lost to that man.
I'm talking about that man that
Leah Thomas.
Leah Thomas. Yeah.
Well, Penn has stripped Leah Thomas of all of her wins and records.
Yeah.
Which
I saw that. Yeah.
So shout out to Riley Gaines, because that means that now Riley Gaines officially finished 4th instead of 5th. So shout out to her for finishing 4th.
Yeah, that means that the girl the girl who finished 2nd now finishes 1st?
Yes, that's how that works. Yeah. So shout out to Riley Gaines. She now is the 4th best swimmer at Penn that year, instead of the 5th best swimmer at Penn.
Yep.
which is a huge deal for her. So much so that she's turned her whole life into that. You know, the whole "I'm a victim" thing for the last 4 or 5 years. I'm a victim. I should have finished 4th instead of 5th. This isn't fair. Her entire identity is wrapped around the fact that she finished 5th when she should have finished 4th, and she's just a giant victim. But that's over now. She's back to she's officially 4th now.
Yep.
So I guess she can end her world tour now.
Yeah.
That she's been on a world tour for like the last 4 years, basically showing up anywhere that'll have her to tell her story and complain and ask people to feel sorry for her for finishing 5th instead of 4th. And she doesn't have to do that anymore because she's actually 4th now. She won. You know?
Yeah.
She won. Don't get scared today. Well, I'm not, but I guarantee you the overwhelming majority of people are. I don't know what they'll be scared about yet, but I can tell you here's what's going to happen today. They're going to try to scare you today about what's going to happen if the big beautiful bill doesn't pass. You know, they're going to try to get you scared about that.
Yeah. So I guess this is the second day.
It's the end of the world. If the big beautiful bill doesn't pass, it's the end of the world. Your taxes are going to be 110%. It's not that the border won't be secure. There's not even going to be a border. They're just going to put turnstiles up instead of a wall.
Yep.
What else if the big beautiful bill doesn't pass? We won't have a military. Military will go away. We'll be invaded next week. What's my thoughts on World War III? There is no World War III. That was a scare tactic from, 8-9 months ago. You know, if Trump doesn't win, then we're headed to World War III. You know, vote for Trump or else World War III is coming. You know, and then of course the Democrats vote for Kamala Harris or else America's over. We'll no longer be a democracy. We'll no longer be a republic, and we're going to turn into a fascist dictator. You know. Now that's not going to happen, and in 3 years there's going to be another presidential election. The Democrats are going to nominate somebody to run. There's going to be an election and a vote, and no one will ask the Democrats, "Hey, you said if Trump won, this was never going to happen again. Why is it?" But yet here we are having another election 4 years later, like we always do. You said if Trump won, this would never happen again. What?
Yeah.
And what's funny is they concoct all these outlandish, if this person wins, this is going to happen, and it's going to be the end of the world. And then when it doesn't happen, they take credit for it not happening. They're like, well, it would have happened, but we resisted at every turn, and we. You know what I mean?
We resisted.
Yeah. We voted no.
Yeah.
We abstained, and we did a no kings protest. That's the only reason why. So we saved I know we told you that if Trump won, it was the end of the world, and now you're sitting around going, wait a minute, the world didn't end. Yes, you're right, but the only reason the world didn't end is because we resisted. So it's just ridiculous, and it's on both sides. It's a giant fear-mongering campaign. That's all it is. They keep you scared. It used to be it was only things outside the United States. You had I used to make videos about I've been making videos about this subject since I started this YouTube channel. But I've got videos from 10 and 11 years ago about how the United States constantly needs a boogeyman. There has to be a boogeyman. And you just go back and look throughout the history of the United States, there is always a boogeyman. For a long time, it was Russia.
Yeah.
And then when that stopped, that's really when they had to start inventing fake boogeymen for you to be afraid of as a reason to constantly pour more money into the military. For 40 years, we had to spend more money on our military than every other country on earth combined because Russia was invading us next week if we don't. And that worked. That scared people for 40 years. Then Russia went away, and all of a sudden there's no boogeyman anymore. So the people are sitting around going, well, this is great. We can save money on military. Well, all the defense contractors who'd been living high on the hog said, well, we can't have that. So guess what happened 2.5 years after the Cold War ended? We invaded Iraq the first time. Why? Because they invaded Kuwait, a country the size of your local Walmart.
Yeah. They invaded Kuwait, and they said that they were going to invade Saudi Arabia next.
Yeah, who cares?
Well, it's about the oil, yeah.
I thought we don't need other people's oil. I thought we had enough oil here, which I know that's a lie. Of course we don't have enough oil here. People don't understand. Not all oil is the same. Oil you dig up out of the ground in one place is not the same as the oil you dig out of ground in another place, and you cannot make gasoline out of every drop of oil on earth. There's some oil you cannot make gasoline out of, so you use it to make tires. Anyway, I don't need to get into all that. And ever since then, it's a constant boogeyman. Iraq, fucking Kosovo, the Bosnia shit, back to the Middle East again, Syria, Afghanistan, Iraq again, China. China's China.
Yep. China. Yeah.
I mean, it's never ending. Yeah. But about 7 or 8 years ago, they said, wait a minute, if we can use, fake overseas shit to scare these people, I wonder if we can make up domestic shit. So now they do that. And people people fall right into the trap. I mean, look, you go on Twitter, Facebook, whatever, you see all these people bitching and moaning, all these political shit. That's not the real world. People aren't getting together and arguing about that shit in person. It happens online. That's it. Whatever, 10% of the people that spend their entire day. There's entire accounts on Facebook that are paid by one political party or another just to scare their own base. They're not trying to scare the other people. They're trying to scare their own people. It's like, instead of getting people to like them, they just try to get you to hate the other person. It's like, we know you're not going to like us. You're not going to like us. We know that. We're not very likable. But don't you think you should hate the other person more? That's the entire fucking plan. You know what I mean? I mean, the number of people that I have seen on Facebook, Twitter, and my YouTube comment section over the last week in full panic mode because of who might win an election for mayor of New York City is mind-numbing.
But how does the mayor of New York City affect me and you?
It doesn't. And so that's the obvious thing. But here's the other thing. I went to New York in May, talked about it for 3 months before that. Every single time I brought it up, people told me the same thing. New York's a shithole. New York's terrible. Crime everywhere. New York's a disaster. New York's a third world country. All this shit, just shitting all over New York City, right? Well, what religion was every mayor of New York City from now to the beginning of time? Do you know? Christian.
No. Yeah,
Christian.
right, Christian.
And what religion you are matters, apparently. So that means Christians have ran New York City into the fucking ground, according to these people. But now a Muslim is running, and we can't elect him. You know why? He might run New York City into the ground. What?
Yeah, I thought it's already been ran into the ground. Yeah.
I mean,
well, I thought it was Democrats that ran into the ground, but
no, it doesn't matter. The political party is irrelevant. They'll tell you that too. I'm not a Republican. Fuck the Republicans. I'm not a Republican. So it's not that. They don't care about that. You know. Now it is about that, but they don't like. You can't find anybody that will admit that. There's probably not 10 people in the comment section right now that will admit they're Republicans. They say, I'm not a Republican. Fuck Republicans.
Right. You're not, but they are. So.
But yeah, I don't care what the, I don't care who the mayor of New York City is.
No, I don't either. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's mad at Massey. Well, you say, what are they going to do? The only people that can do about it are the people that vote there. Ultimately, yeah, but you're going to have a lot of people put a lot of money against him now.
Who is Massey?
He's a Republican who won't vote for the big, beautiful bill because it's terrible financially.
Okay. So he's
Unlike most politicians who run on financial responsibility, then get elected, and then don't care about financial responsibility, Massey, at least to some degree, actually does. And so he's not voting on anything that raises the debt or the deficit. And so because of that, he's now not a real Republican. He's a rhino. He's anti-MAGA, and they have to all hate him now. Now, keep in mind, he votes 99% party line, you know. But that's another, and this is a problem on both sides too. 99, it's not good enough to be in line with someone 99% because they pick the 1% and then they primary you. And because of election finance laws, you can primary almost anybody you want and beat them. Because you can just give some other candidate $1 billion.
Yeah.
Did you hear Elon and Trump got divorced? Yeah, that's no surprise.
I think we all knew that. Yeah.
Now it has been funny to watch, like, people who used to hate Elon then loved him because he was a Trumper, and now they hate him again. And then the opposite. People who loved Elon before because he was the electric car guy. Then they hated him because he supported Trump. Now they're back to loving him again because he said something mean about Trump on Twitter. It's hilarious. There's an account on Twitter called "Is This You?" One of my favorite things to do politically is to point out like obvious hypocrisies, you know, and that's all this account does. That's it. So it'll have, whoever runs this account called "Is This You?" They've got all these tweets on there where it'll be like this congressman who was like, I'll never own an electric car, waste of time, gas forever, drill. That they tweeted in like some random time in 2022 or something, you know. And then they'll have another tweet from the same person that was from 3 months ago that says, just ordered my Tesla Model Y. Elon's making America great again, blah, blah, blah. and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, that's hilarious. Didn't the Democrats just have some other Democrats killed in Minnesota? No, that guy was a Republican. That guy was a Republican. Now, whether someone is a Republican or a Democrat doesn't have anything to do with whether or not they kill anybody. That's just another thing they use to try to separate you. Us versus them thing. But no, that guy that killed those two politicians was a Republican and a Trump supporter. He voted for Trump. Was a Trump supporter. He was appointed to a bipartisan board by a Republican governor like in 2014, and then his contract was renewed or whatever by the Democrat governor in 2020, whatever it was. But no, he was a Republican. But that doesn't matter. Well, you say Cat Turd's the dumbest person on Twitter, and I'll admit he's dumb. But the thousands of people who follow him and then regurgitate the same shit he says are the real dumb ones. Like, they take their cues from someone named Cat Turd.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is who they're following. Cat Turd said it must be true.
Cat Turd. Okay.
What a shock. He lives in the panhandle of Florida.
Yep.
Cat Turd. Yeah, but that's all politics has turned into, is just trying to, it's either trying to get you scared about what's going to happen if the other side wins, or mad about what's currently going on for some reason, things that, remember when you had, the whole, boycotting and canceling everything, you can't do anything Disney anymore because whatever, you can't shop at Target because they celebrate Pride Month. Can't watch Netflix anymore because somebody that works at Netflix donated to Kamala Harris. Whatever, you can't, somebody said something you disagree with, so you got to, they're canceled now, whatever it is, I can't listen to Kid Rock anymore because he wore a Trump hat. Cancel him. Can't listen to Bruce Springsteen because he doesn't like Trump. Can't watch any Robert De Niro movies. They keep you mad and angry. And scared. Yeah, that's right. Norwegian method says they either want us scared or perturbed. Yeah. Hey, that's it. Scare you or make you mad. Oh yeah, lawyers are that way 100%. Now that's good. It can be good if you're the defendant. You want to hire a lawyer who has good relationships with the DAs, you know, and try to get you the best deal possible or whatever in that sort of scenario. But yeah, a lot of what happens in a courtroom has already been determined before you ever set foot in there. Don't even get me started on the legal system. The legal system and the tax system. Have gotten to the point where without money, you are at a severe disadvantage in both cases. Well, particularly particularly legal courtroom scenarios, particularly that, because you can lose your rights because you don't have enough money to hire a competent defense. Like, you can literally lose your right to life. The most basic of civil rights that we have in this country, literally the first one, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You can lose your right to life in this country because you cannot afford a competent defense. Never mind the millions of people who lose things a little bit less important than that, their liberty, you know, thrown in jail, whatever. But the tax thing too. I mean, if you have no money at all, I guess the tax situation doesn't really matter. You work a W-2 job, your taxes get held out, and at the end of the year they give you all your money back because you didn't make any money. But if you're like in the middle, like if you make anywhere from, I would say, 70 to 80 grand a year to 200 grand a year, you have to spend a lot of money to not overpay your taxes. You get to the point where the more money you have, the less taxes you pay because you can afford to figure out how not to pay them. I'm so scared when I do my taxes every year that I'm going to screw something up. And you know, how long is the tax code now? Vandy, you would know. It's unbelievably long. Yeah, I've seen you say that before. That you work for the IRS and you file fraudulent tax returns and don't pay taxes. I believe you. I'm sure if you work there, it's probably like, you know, if you work at the gas station, I'm sure you can figure out how to steal a Snickers bar without getting caught. But I'm not. I'm afraid to do that because I don't work at the gas station. But the tax code is so complicated that you shouldn't have to. There shouldn't be a job where you're making hundreds of $1,000s a year filing other people's taxes. Like, it shouldn't be so complicated to file taxes that people are paid exorbitant amounts of money to know how to do it. Like, that shouldn't be a thing. That shouldn't be a thing. I don't have all the answers on the housing crisis. I have a couple of thoughts and opinions, and I don't know how valid they are. Economics is so far over my head, and it's over everyone's head in this chat section, unless they were a micro or a macro economics major in college. Economics is very complicated. I do think corporations buying up entire neighborhoods is a problem. I do think that's a big problem. There are brand new neighborhoods being built right now where none of the houses in that neighborhood are for sale. None of them.
Oh, why?
They're only for rent. Because some corporation has bought the entire neighborhood, and they're not selling, they're renting.
Oh, okay.
I mean, and that's not the only, that's what I mean. I don't understand economics on any type of serious level. So it's not just that. There are other, the interest rate. I don't know why. I don't understand the whole fucking Federal Reserve and interest rates. I've got no clue. I got no idea. I know it has to do with it. I know they try to balance the interest rate with the inflation or the risk of inflation. So like when inflation starts to get out of control, they have to raise the interest rate. Why? Why does raising the interest rate offset all inflation or what? I don't know. I just know that's what they do. And then when inflation kind of levels out or stops, they start to lower the interest rate. I don't know. Like Trump's mad at Jerome Powell, the Fed chair, because he won't lower the rates. I don't know whether Jerome Powell should lower the rates or not. If he cut the rates in half tomorrow, I don't know what effect that would have. I've got no idea. But I know I'm not buying a house at 8% interest. I know I'm not doing that. I'll rent for the rest of my life. I mean, I'm not buying a house at 8%. I'm not doing that. A house that you bought 4 years ago and your mortgage payment was $2,000. That same house today, your mortgage payment would be over $4,000. That's not sustainable. That's not sustainable. I know that 40 years ago, the average cost of a house was about half of someone's, like, or twice someone's yearly salary. So in other words, 40 years ago, the average salary was 40 grand. The average house was 80 grand. So the average house was twice what the average person made. Now, the average house is like 5 or 6 times what the average, you know, the average salary now is like 70 grand. The average house is 450 grand. So I don't know how people are supposed to keep up with that. Yeah, everybody who bought a house in 2020 or 2021 or 2022, whatever, has that interest rate. But you can't get that interest rate today. You buy a house today, you're lucky if you can get a 6% rate, and that's if you buy it down or get some kind of seller incentive or builder incentive or something like that. But your average person that goes to buy a house today is paying 7 or 8% interest. Jackpot says, if you can't buy a new house, where are Dan and TK supposed to find their starter home?
Yeah.
If they're priced out, it's their own fault for not buying years ago. Yes. The 24-year-old college grad should have bought a house when they were 12. Yes, good point, Vandy Dandy.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
good point.
Yeah.
I think you have to have a shitload of money to pay down on a house also. Well, that depends on the type of loan you get or whatever. You can get a house for as little as 3.5% down if you have a W-2 job. If you're 1099, it's a lot more. But you can do an FHA loan, 3.5% down. Conventional loans are 10 to 20% down, but most people don't do conventional loans, not on their first house. You might do a conventional loan on your second house because you have the money. You sell a house, you've got the money to put down on the next house you buy. It's the first time you buy a house that is the hardest. That's when you need the down payment assistance because you don't have a house to sell. So they have down payment assistance programs and, FHA loans and VA loans that you can get for 3.5 to 5% down. But even that is becoming unaffordable. It used to be 3.5% down. Okay, $200,000 house, 3.5% down. You need $7,000 plus maybe another $2,000 or $3,000 for closing costs. You can buy a house for $10,000 down, basically total. Get you a $200,000 house. There are no $200,000 houses anymore. They don't exist. Not here. I don't know. If there's a $200,000 house here, it's falling down, and you don't want to live in it. This wouldn't be safe. Any type of house you buy here is going to minimum 300 grand and up. So even if you can do 5% down, you're looking at $15,000 plus closing costs, be another 10 grand. You're talking $20,000, $25,000 you'd have to save up. just to buy a house at 3.5% down. I hear you, K-Star. It ain't easy. Yeah, that's true. Most people don't park their car in their garage. That is true. Housing prices will go up faster than people can save 20%. Storage facilities are popping up like crazy because they make these new homes so damn small now. There, it is the amount of storage facilities is wild. It's starting to be like the new. I'm starting to think of it's not like the mattress store. Like, why are there 10 mattress stores in Augusta? People don't buy 10 mattresses in their lifetime. They're money laundering fronts is what they are. And I'm starting to think these storage facilities are the same way. There's more storage facilities in Augusta than there are apartment complexes, it seems like. I mean, they're everywhere. Y'all ever seen the videos on YouTube or whatever of people that live in storage units? People are creative, man. People are creative. If you see land being graded out around here, it's an apartment complex, a car wash, or a Dollar General.
Yep.
You.
Yep.
Yeah, I know in the last 10 years in Augusta, the number of storage facilities has tripled at least. I mean, they're everywhere. Yep. Now, some of it here is that we have a very large military population here, and they tend to be more transient. So, you know, like a lot of military people will buy a house here, and then when they get stationed somewhere else, instead of selling their house, they rent it out. And so they take all their furniture out of their house and they put it in a storage unit here or whatever while they're living somewhere else or whatever. So maybe that's got something to do with why there's so many here, but there are a ton of them. Yeah, LW, I don't even think that, if it's a conspiracy, I don't even know if it's a conspiracy or a proven thing. I don't know. If it's a conspiracy theory, I believe in it, though. There's something going on with the mattress places. I'm 47 years old. There's no way I've bought 5 or 6 mattresses, maybe, I guess, over the course of a lifetime. So I don't understand how there's all these. And I'm not, the last couple of mattresses I bought were free delivery through Amazon. So I don't know how all these mattress stores are staying in business. And like you said, there's never anyone in there. So I don't know what's going on with the mattress stores, but something's up. So I don't know. Mm-hmm. There's a mattress store here. For those of you that live in this area, I think it's the one in the Target shopping center on Robert C. Daniel. There's a mattress store here that literally doesn't have any posted hours. You call, someone answers a cell phone, and you tell them when you want to come up there, and they just meet you up there.
Huh?
Yeah, they just meet you there. Like, so something's going on there. Like they're not.
Yeah, that
not-
sounds sketchy.
They're not there to sell mattresses. Like they're it's a front for some sort of money laundering, something or another. It's got to be. So I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. What's today? Thursday? Yeah, today's Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday, July 3rd,
Yeah, I got a lot of shit to do today.
2025.
We leave tomorrow, so I got a lot of shit I got to do today. I mean, let's be real. I have a lot of shit I have to do every day. I'm super fucking busy.
Yeah, you are a very busy and important person.
Yeah. Now I'm a little bit less busy in the off season than during the season, but I'm always the same amount of important, which is a large amount. Large amount of important. We gotta see what's going on here. Let me see if you have. Okay, good. Let me name you Emma. Oh man, that's a funny. You know who Sinbad is, Vic? It's a stand-up comedian from the '80s.
No.
He has this skit, or it might have been the '90s, early '90s. Anyway, he has this bit that he does where he talks about how mad he gets when he goes into McDonald's and the people in line in front of him act like they've never been there before. He's like, hey man, it's McDonald's. Like, they've got the same thing they always have. Like, the menu ain't changing. But he was like, you always got somebody in front of you that's looking up at the menu like, let me see if you have, I think I'm gonna get, and then he goes, and then he goes, the longer it takes them to make up their mind, the more likely they are to just order a cheeseburger. It's like, man, you knew you were ordering a cheeseburger when you walked in here.
Yeah.
So it took you 20 minutes to stare at the board. You know what they have. Oh man, that's so true though. I used to get mad at my kids because we'd be in the car and I'm like, all right, we're going to McDonald's. 10-minute ride to McDonald's, But then we get there and all of a sudden they're trying to decide what they want to eat. I'm like, you've known for 10 minutes we were going to McDonald's. You know what they have. Like, once we pull up to the thing to order, you need to know what you want at that point. Right? Don't you think at McDonald's? Here's the other thing.
Yeah.
Who goes, I don't know what I want to eat. I'm going to go to McDonald's and just pick something off the menu. No, the only reason you go to McDonald's is because you want something. I want a Big Mac. I'm going to go to McDonald's. I really want a Big Mac. You don't go, let's just go to McDonald's and see what they have. No, you don't do that. Like, if you go to McDonald's, like, you're going because you know what you want. But, yes, you get so aggravated at my kids because we'd pull up to the drive-thru and they act like they don't know what they want. And I'm like, you knew when we got in the car we were coming to McDonald's. You know what McDonald's has. It took 10 minutes to get here. How do you not know what you want? Yeah, I used to get mad about that. Get mad about that. Anyway, I guess we got to get out of here at some point. I mean, I don't know. Do we or no? Of course we do. We can't, yeah, unfortunately we can't, can't stay on all day. Got to get out of here. Let me see if you have a... All right, Vic. So, an early Viktube show tomorrow.
Yeah.
because you're going
It's
to
going to be at
fireworks.
5.
Yeah, so the Viktube show
Right.
tomorrow is at 5 instead
Right.
of 6, and hopefully Dan comes
Right.
on. If he does, you're going to try to get it worked out with the TK deal. If not, you're going to ask him if we can do.
Hopefully.
Yeah, but if for some reason that's a no-go, then you're going to see if we can get him hooked up with the if we can do Tinder Dan.
Okay, right.
We can create a Tinder account for him, and we can try to find a woman of his dreams on Tinder.
Right.
Well, TK is the woman of his dreams, but if she's gonna shun him, then
Find another woman.
yeah, we'll see if
of his dreams.
Find a different woman of his dreams. Yeah. So anyway, I won't be able to tune into that show because I'll be traveling, but I'll be eagerly anticipating the update on that situation as soon as I can get it.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
But Vic, congratulations on winning LoutubeHere's Got Talent. It's a major award.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Thanks.
It's,
Yeah.
it's a major award. So I'm happy for you with that. And I will be on tonight for the call-in show at 9. But that will be the last call-in show for a week because I'll be out of town from tomorrow through the following Thursday. So see y'all tonight at 9. Check out Viktube tomorrow on his channel at 5 o'clock. He does a show over there every Friday, usually at 6, but this week it's at 5. And then I'll see y'all over on the main channel tonight at 9 o'clock, and we'll talk some college football. Until then, though, have a good morning.